Hey guys, today's video is going to be a swatch and review video of the Maybelline Expert Wear single eyeshadows that they reformulated. I find these to be so much better quality, however there are some that I recommend and there are some that I don't recommend. This video is going to be very similar to the ColourPop swatch and review video that I did of their entire pressed eyeshadow line. If you haven't seen that, I will link it down below. I swatched them on my hands and on my eyes so you guys can see the swatches and the application and blendability of each and every eyeshadow. And after that, I will talk about my opinions and which shadows I recommend and which ones that I don't. If you are new to my channel, then welcome. I hope you're here to stay. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you are notified for any videos in the future. And if you're interested in seeing all of these shadows and how they apply and all of my recommendations, then just keep watching.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me. Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move.
Swatches. All of these eyeshadows do vary with the formula. But to summarize the entire line, I do find that each and every shadow does have a little bit of powder kick up when you press your brush into the eyeshadow. I do see powder kick up with pretty much every single eyeshadow that I have with any brand. It could be drugstore or high-end. So to me, that's really not a big deal. You just have to be extra careful with fallout because these shadows do indeed have that. I love using the Sonia Kashuk number 110 concealer brush. It's flat and synthetic. I use this brush all the time for packing shadow on the lid. And if you guys could see in the swatches, I did keep the brush very close to my lid. I barely picked up the brush, and that allowed me to minimize the fallout with the product. So there is definitely a way to work around that. Every single one of these eyeshadows were $3.99. I purchased them online at Ulta.com because when I purchased these, they just came out. It was either in January or February. Because there are 20 shades in this collection and all of the formulas vary, I did narrow it down to 5 shadows that I think are needed in a makeup collection, especially if you do not have a very broad makeup collection. These shadows can be very beneficial to you. So my favorite shadow by far is 60S the Glo Down. So to be perfectly honest with you, this would be absolutely beautiful as a highlight. I am wearing it as a highlight right now. I'm also wearing it on the inner corner and the first half of my lid. I think that it's so stunning, especially with you guys out there on a budget, all of you college students and high school students out there. Don't be embarrassed to use an eyeshadow as a highlighter. Because they are powder formulas, we can use them multiple ways, and I personally feel as though this eyeshadow right here, the Glo Down, is a hidden gem in the drugstore, especially for highlighting purposes. I don't think that this looks too glittery on the cheeks. It doesn't really emphasize my texture very much. It just looks like a very beautiful sheen, and that's the kind of highlighters that I definitely like to go for. The same formula of this shadow can be found in 40S Nude Glow and 150S NY Silver. So this is the Nude Glow right here, and this is the silver shade. So all 3 of these shades I 100% recommend to you guys. This is the silver, this is the Glo Down, and this is Nude Glow. But as you can see, these 3 shadows are incredible with the formula. They're extremely metallic, and I find that they are very impressive for drugstore. And because we don't wear silver all that often, I find that if you own this shadow right here in NY Silver from Maybelline, you will not need any other silver eyeshadow in your collection. As you guys saw in the swatches, on my eyes especially, this applied so incredibly well. It was not patchy, there was not a lot of fallout, and it's $3.99, extremely affordable. And what I love about these eyeshadows is that they are accessible. You don't need to order them online. You can find them at your local drugstore. So definitely pick this up if you need a silver, because you will not need any other one. This will do everything for you. There is one more shadow that feels just as soft, but it didn't really perform as well in my opinion. This is Humdrum Plum, and this is the color, and you saw them in the swatches that I showed you before. So I will compare it to the rest of them. As you can see, all of these are extremely metallic. This still has a metallic finish to it, but it's not as intense. You could definitely work with it. You can layer it on so that it does appear as pigmented as the rest. There are 2 more shadows that I think are every night staples. I would say every day, but they are a little dark, so I would definitely use these for smoky eyes. This shade is Made for Mocha, and this one is Night Sky. If you are looking for a very deep brown and a very pigmented black, I would highly recommend these 2 shades. They do have fallouts because they are so dark, and like I said, every single one of these eyeshadows do have kick up when you do pressure brush into it, but I find that these are extremely pigmented when you apply them on the eyes. There are ways of working around the fallout. Like I said, you can tap off your brush and apply it to the eye. You don't want to pick up your brush too much when you are blending it out on the lids. You could also refrain from doing your foundation until after your eyeshadow. So those 3 things are the tips that I would give you guys for minimizing fallout. Because these are $3.99 and these are staple products in a collection, I highly recommend these, and I love that you can just pick them up at the drugstore. So all 5 of those shadows, the Silver, Nude Glow, the Glo Down, and those 2 very dark matte shades, are the 5 shadows in this collection that I highly recommend for every single makeup collection. Now I'm going to get into the shadows that were surprisingly good. You don't necessarily need them, but if you are looking for a shadow like that in your collection, then I do recommend these for you. So the 2 shades that surprised me tremendously when I actually applied the shadow to the eyes are 75S Khaki Camo and 80S Forest Green. So personally for me, when I swatched these on my hands, I did not really think anything of it. I thought, they're okay. They're not too much standout or anything like that. Especially this one. Khaki Camo has a little bit of a sheen to it. It does have a satin finish when you look at it in the pan. So when I swatched it on the hand, I was like, this really doesn't show up very much as a shimmer shadow, but when I applied it to the eyes, it kind of transfers on the eyes as a matte shade, and I found it to be very beautiful for a smoky eye, so I really liked this shade surprisingly. Same thing with this shade. This is Forest Green. It's a little bit more of a shimmer shadow than this one. This one definitely applies matte, but what I liked about this was, once again, it didn't really swatch very well on my hand, but when I applied it to the lid, I found it to be extremely beautiful. It's not so metallic that it's going to be pop like the one I have here, the Glo Down, but it's metallic enough or shimmery enough to give a little bit more dimension to your eyes. So I find that these 2 paired together are going to be a beautiful army green smoky eye. You also have to ask yourself, how often do we wear green eyeshadow? Not very often, at least for me. These 2 shadows are not a necessity for your collection, but if your collection is lacking in green eyeshadows and you don't wear green eyeshadow too often, I would pick these up just so you're not wasting your money on $10 green eyeshadows that are just going to sit there for months on end until the one day you wear green. Another shadow that is definitely not a necessity but is very, very pigmented and impressive, and I love it, I just wish I knew how to wear it, is this one right here. And this is 130S Teal the Deal. Extremely, extremely pigmented, super soft. It's a matte shadow. So because it is so vibrant of a shade, a lot of the times these types of shadows apply patchy on the eyes. So because it is so vibrant, it is a little bit patchy when you apply that. That's with any vibrant shadow. It could be high-end or drugstore. But what I did was I took my flat synthetic brush, like always, packed it section by section on the lid. And by doing that, I was able to get a very opaque color. I picked up a little bit with the blending brush and applied it to the crease. Depending on which way you want to apply it, I don't recommend applying it on the lid and in the crease. That's a little bit too much. But if you apply this correctly, it will be opaque. It is definitely pigmented. It's not going to be patchy. Because we do not wear this color so often, do not waste your money on any high-end eyeshadow. This is $4. Definitely get this if you're looking for a very vibrant teal, especially for the summertime. This was another one of those shadows that did not swatch very pigmented, and I was a little bit disappointed with the way that it swatched. However, when I was swatching it for this video on my eyes, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I don't know what it is about this one and Forest Green, but the swatches did it no justice until I applied it on the eyes. This applied way more pigmented on the eyes than it did on my hand for some odd reason. I don't know if it was the synthetic brush that I used to pack on the shade, but it did apply very well with that brush. I do have Makeup Geek's Center Stage, which is a very, very similar color. It's one of their foiled shadows, but if you keep that price in mind, Makeup Geek's foiled shadows are $10 a piece. This is $4. How often have you seen me wear this type of eyeshadow on my channel? Not very often. I think once, and I actually didn't use Makeup Geeks, I used ColourPops. I feel like a broken record because I keep repeating this, but a lot of the times we don't wear color, very often, so why spend your money on a $10 eyeshadow when this applies perfectly well? So if you're looking for a royal blue just for one of those daring smoky eyes for a night out, try this. You can always return it if you don't like it, but apply this with a flat synthetic brush like I did on the lid, and I was pleasantly surprised, so I think that you will be too. I do want to quickly talk about this shade. This is 10S Soft Pearl. This is still soft. It has a little bit of a drier formula than the three metallics that I showed you in the beginning. But what I like about this is that it is a beautiful brow bone highlight. I think that it is very pretty. I don't think that this is a wow standout shadow, but you don't necessarily need that type of shadow to highlight the brow bone. So if you, for some reason, don't have a shadow like this in your collection, then pick this up, especially for you guys on a budget and are looking to expand your collection. This would definitely work well on the brow bone and even as an inner corner highlight for something subtle and something very pretty. I do want to compare it to 100S Vanilla just because these two shades are pretty similar. So on the top is 100S Vanilla and on the bottom is 10S Soft Pearl. So Vanilla, obviously with the name, it is more of a white shade, and this is a little bit more of a cream, but the difference is so subtle that I would only pick up one, and I would pick up Soft Pearl. The reason why is because Vanilla has a little bit of a drier formula and it actually feels a little bit chunky, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And Soft Pearl has a little bit of a softer formula and it does swatch a little bit more consistently than Vanilla because it's not as chunky. So I have two shades I want to talk about that are okay. They're not extremely pigmented, but you could try these out. So the two shades that I'm talking about, 160S Purple Days and 180S Fierce Fuchsia. So this, I don't think applying it on camera did it justice. From what I can see, it looked like it washed it out a little bit, but this is the shade right here. It's a very pretty light purple. This is going to be perfect for blending out that purple crease that you have. It's not going to show up very well on the lid, but if you use this to blend out a purple smoky eye, it will be perfect for that. So if you don't have a shade like this, I would pick it up just for that sole purpose. And then this shade right here is Fierce Fuchsia. So both of these shadows are very soft. This formula reminds me of Teal the Deal, the very pigmented teal shade. However, this one I find to be a little bit more patchy. You do have to work with it a little bit more for some odd reason. So if you have a shade like this, I would use that one in your collection. Do not pick this up just because it is a little bit harder to work with, a little bit harder to blend out without having it be a little bit patchy. So I already spoke with you guys about the shadows that I would recommend. Now I'm going to speak about the shadows that I most definitely would not. The first shadow that I'm going to talk about is 90S Gold School. Now, looking in the pan, this looks like a beautiful gold, and I was very excited about it. However, it does not have the same formula as these three metallic shades right here in that purple. It does not have the same formula for some odd reason. It feels a little bit drier and it feels chunky, kind of like that vanilla shade that I was telling you about. I don't know, just something about this shadow I did not like at all. It was not consistent, it was not opaque, it was a little bit chunky, a little bit chunky in pigment and glitter. It was just very odd. So there are definitely better gold eyeshadows out on the market. They may be $1 or $2 more expensive, but I would not pick this up at all if you're looking for a good gold shadow. The next shadow that I would not recommend is 20S Linen. The reason why is because it simply just did not show up. I picked it up on the brush, blended it on my eye, and it almost just basically disappeared. The only way that I would use this shadow would be to blend out other colors. So if you're looking for a shadow for that purpose, honestly, just use your translucent setting powder that you have at home. Translucent setting powder, whether pressed or not, can act as a blending shade for all of your other eyeshadows, so that is a little bit of a trick for that. That's the only way that I would use this shadow. I would not put it on my lid or my brow bone because, like I said, it just simply does not show up. The next shade that I was very excited about but was extremely disappointed was 190S Raw Ruby. So I don't know if you guys can see, but this does have flecks of red glitter in it, which I thought is so, so pretty. It's almost like a red coppery type of glitter. When you apply this to the eyes, it applies as a very powdery black eyeshadow. The red glitter does not transfer. I did want to use this for a Valentine's Day makeup tutorial. I thought it would be very beautiful for that, but the glitter did not transfer. Like I said, it was a very powdery black eyeshadow because it does have a very dark black base. I don't like the formula on this. It did not apply well on the eyes, so I would definitely say you should pass on this. If you compare this to the black eyeshadow that I showed you in this collection, the black eyeshadow definitely wins. This is way too powdery and the glitter does not show up. The next shade that I would pass on is 30S Seashell. This is just like Linen, except it has a little bit more of a pinker tone to it. Same thing about Linen, I didn't find that it showed up very well. So once again, I would use your translucent shadow or use a pink toned eyeshadow that you have already in your collection. Even though it is $4, I don't think that you guys should really pick this up. Alright guys, 2 more shades. The next one I'm going to talk about is 50S Tastefully Taupe. So I applied this on the lid and in the crease. It is a satin shimmery shadow. It's not overly metallic. It's not matte. It does have a satin shimmer to it. I would not recommend this because it is pretty patchy to me. It was not pigmented when I applied it on the lid. When I see a shadow like this, I want to put it on my lid and I want it to show up. This shadow was there. You could tell that it was there on my eyelid, but it was not pigmented enough to really pack a punch, and that's what I want when I put this on my lid. I want it to show up. I want it to be pigmented, and this shadow did not really do that for me. Finally, the last shadow that I want to talk about is this one right here. This is 70S Cool Cocoa. This shade is a little bit of an odd shade. It seems to have a satin sheen to it. And when I see the shade, I personally want it to be matte because I want to put this in my crease. This one did not blend very well. It was not very pigmented. It was kind of patchy in the crease, so I would just really not recommend this shadow. Alright guys, so this completes this swatch and review video of the Maybelline single eyeshadows. I really hope that you found it helpful and hopefully you pick up those 5 shadows I recommended to you guys. If you do, let me know what you think down below. Also, let me know if you want to see some of these eyeshadows in a tutorial for an affordable drugstore makeup look. I will be happy to do that for you. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy you're here and I hope that you do stay. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit that bell button down below. That way you are notified for every video that I upload. I want to thank you guys so much for getting me to 5,000 subscribers. I am honestly over the moon. I can't believe I have 5,000 subscribers right now. Thank you. Honestly, it seriously makes me so happy and I don't know why I'm getting like a little bit emotional, but it's honestly amazing to me. You guys are amazing. You guys have always been so loving and supportive here on my channel. And I honestly can't thank you guys enough for that. You all motivate me so much to keep going. You guys know how hectic and busy my life is. And for you to still be here and be supportive here on my channel and get me to 5,000 subscribers, I have no words for that. So thank you so much for getting me to 5,000 subscribers. Holy crap. Get yourselves together, Rachel. Get yourselves together. But I do want to thank you guys again. I love you all so much for your support. Leave any comments down below of videos that you would like to see. I will be happy to do those videos for you guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.